Are video games really to blame for all of the issues going on in the world today, whether it's mass shootings or just issues with children? I'm here to tell you that maybe that's not the case. However, Matt Walsh over at the Daily Wire and Matt Walsh YouTube channel has something else to say about this. Now, what's really interesting is this whole thing actually came up back in 2018 and only recently has begun being a huge issue, and people are calling Matt Walsh out for it. But here, let's take a listen, because he does talk about this a little bit and his stance, and I think some people are kind of twisting his words a little bit. So let's take a listen here.
My Twitter mentions became filled with people upset over something that I tweeted on March 8th, 2018. Here's the offending tweet. Video games are a sacred cow because our country is filled with adults who are obsessed with them. That's why we all pretend insanely that there's nothing wrong with or disturbing about a child spending all day killing people in a virtual world. Shocking stuff. Apparently in 2018, I made the provocative claim that children shouldn't spend all day playing violent video games.
If you guys have a problem with that, you can just fight me.
Lots of people apparently disagree. They, I guess, think that children should spend all day playing violent video games. I mean, I could see a response where you say, well, no kids play all day playing violent video games. But to respond like you disagree with the statement is another thing entirely, but that's what happened.
So, what is he saying there exactly? Because it is an interesting little concept that a lot of people want to push back against. Well, like I said, this all comes back from 2018, and he even shows the tweet that he made. But he then wrote an article for the Daily Wire where he actually talks about President Trump back in 2018 having a little bit of an issue with what's going on with the internet. And he goes, this is Donald Trump, mind you, over at the Daily Wire. This is from the Daily Wire. We have to look at the internet because a lot of bad things are happening to young kids and young minds, and their minds are being formed. And also video games. I'm hearing more and more people say the level of violence in video games is really shaping young people's thoughts. Okay, so like I said, this comes from 2018, and Matt Walsh has recently discussed this again on his YouTube channel, and I even saw that D-Day Cobra from Geeks and Gamers, he talked about it and called out Matt Walsh. But I kind of want to sit here and not necessarily play devil's advocate, but kind of highlight exactly what the problem actually is, because believe it or not, it's not video games, and it's not the internet. Granted, that's not to say that what's on the internet isn't the scum of the earth. That's not to say that some video games are just a little bit overly violent, because absolutely, I will agree with that. But thinking about video games, and we're going to stick to that a little bit. Thinking about video games, I myself grew up in the 90s during the boom of video games, during this time where fans and kids just ate up anything that came from a video game franchise. You know why, though? Because it was an escape from reality, much like television, much like film, much like novels and comic books. Video games are an escape from reality. It's time away from your everyday. Sometimes kids, I know I did. I needed a break from my schoolwork. I needed a break from my friends. I needed a break from bullies or my parents. You just have to get away sometimes. And video games have done that. So to sit there and say that, oh, kids shouldn't play video games, that's a little ridiculous. However, it falls on the parents. I have kids. I know what games they're playing on their consoles, on their iPads, on their phones. I pay attention. If it's something I don't agree with, or if it's something that I don't think that they could understand, I won't let them play it. I won't let them dive into something like that. If I don't want them playing Call of Duty, Battlefield, a Star Wars game, Fortnite, Grand Theft Auto, I won't let them play it. But here's the thing. It's not on the video game companies to parent our children. It's not on the internet to parent our children. And that is the concept, I think, that is getting lost in all of this here, because when you get down to it, Matt Walsh is simply taking this concept and idea of video games, and that's his clickbait right there, video games. And he's trying to bring people into understanding that, yeah, video games are part of that issue. You know, kids are playing a lot of video games, but that isn't the large issue. That's not the big issue. The big issue is screen time. And that is how he should be putting it, and really highlighting that aspect of it. Because it does come down to screen time. Your kids should not be nose in a tablet, phone, or video games or television screen for 10, 15, 20 hours a day. And there are people that do that. There are people who end up just their mind just goes to waste because of that. Absolutely, there are studies that show that video games can help with hand-eye coordination, and certain puzzle games will help you use your brain in a certain way, but that's not every video game. That's not all games. Luckily for us, some do that. But here we sit here today, and you have to ask yourself, are you going to get mad at Matt Walsh for using a clickbait title or clickbait topic to bring awareness to screen time? Because it is an issue in today's world. It's so easy to just throw your kid a phone, to throw your kid a tablet and say, shut up, sit over there, be quiet. All parents do it because it's so simple. You get home from work, you're trying to make dinner, you're trying to get everything prepared for the next day, and your kids just want they want that attention. And every parent, you just, every once in a while, you're just like, go watch your tablet. Here, go watch Disney. Go watch this. Because as a kid, they just want the attention of the adult. But if we keep pushing them, if we keep allowing them to sit there on the couch, on the tablet, they're not going to have that bond with you. And that is an issue down the line. Because there's so many issues in this world right now when it comes to absentee fathers, absentee parents of all sorts. This is just adding to that. You also have to take a look at what they do on the internet nowadays. Everything is quick and nothing, you get satisfaction within 10 seconds with videos. Kids are turning that around and trying to get that instant gratification in real life. Instead of saving money, instead of working to get what they want, they now just expect, oh, I should have what I want because my favorite YouTuber gets it. And that's an issue as well. You see, this conversation isn't just about video games. And that's not what Matt Walsh was trying to say. At least, that's not how I took it. Because yes, there are violent video games. But as I'm saying, it's not on the video game companies to parent our children. It's their form of art. We have to allow them to have artistic integrity. Now, I know a lot of people like to twist different things. Don't twist this. This is an issue for parents to handle and to work with their kids. It's not what a lot of people are saying it is to be. But I want to know your thoughts. I want to know what you think about this whole thing. Do you really think that they maybe need to cut back on the violent video games? Do you think that internet needs to be cut back? Or do you like me, believe that it's up to the parents? The parents should be parenting the children. Let me know your thoughts on all of that. Please hit like, subscribe. Look, we're 100 people away from 100 subscribers on YouTube, from hitting 2,000 subscribers. That is a huge milestone in my book. I can't wait to hit that number. So please share this with your family, your moms, your dads, your aunts, your uncles, your grandfather, your grandma, your niece, your nephew, brothers, sisters, all of them. Tell them to like Bridging the Geekdoms and follow us and subscribe on YouTube. With all that said, guys, thank you so much for listening and watching. I'll talk to all of you later.